YouTube, it's motomattman. It's 58 degrees and it's April, beginning of April something. I don't know what the date is. It's April something, 5th, 6th, something like that. Anyway, how is everybody today? Everybody staying safe, staying away from the virus? Look at that. Things may change though with this, with all of this that's going on, because I mean, first person I see on a bike, I'm on the VFR. Busted out old red today. And the first person I see is on a bike is on a Harley. And they waved. Which, as I've talked about before, for some reason is an unusual thing. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The weather is good. We're allowed, obviously, to be out on bikes. There's no kind of ban when it comes to that here in Ohio. I understand that that's not the case in a lot of places, and a lot of places do have a ban on being out on two wheels during the quarantine or whatever, because it's not really technically a quarantine. It's a stay-at-home recommendation. Stores, non-essential stores are closed. A lot of the stores that are closed make sense. You know, clothing stores like Old Navy and Kohl's and you know, the mall stores are all closed, which it makes perfect sense. I mean, they're not essential. You know, you can wear what you've got. You don't have to go out shopping for new clothes. Hardware stores are open, presumably because you could need to repair something in your home. Just like auto parts stores are still open. Garden centers are still open. I don't understand how they're essential. How it's essential that you go out and plant your spring flowers, but they're considered essential. You know, I mean, obviously grocery stores, gas stations, pharmacies, those are definitely essential. But anyway, I'm out today because the weather allows me, because I want to be out on the bike, because I'm not being around anybody else, and also, to be honest with you, I do think of those of you that can't get out on two wheels. So in my somewhat small way, I feel like I'm riding for you guys as well, making sure that I get out on two when I have the opportunity, since you can't. Now, I also heard of something else that got postponed or canceled that it may not seem like a big deal to everybody, saying it's not really a big deal, but it's something that's really, to me, is upsetting. And that's, I've waited 34 years for Top Gun 2 to come out, and it was supposed to come out in June. And Mrs. Motomattman and I were going to take our bikes to go to the premiere on, well, not the premiere, but, you know, the first day that it was out in movie theaters. It was a big part of my early 20s. The group of guys that I rode with at the time, we were in Virginia Beach. We hung out within almost walking distance, bicycling distance of Oceana Naval Air Station. Which is a Navy base that at the time housed F-14 Tomcats, among other planes, A-6 Intruders and so forth. But, you know, there was a special connection to the movie, and we all went on our bikes to go watch it. Not to mention the fact that at the time, a lot of us were on sport bikes very similar to the 900 Ninja that Maverick rode in the first movie. Well, I just heard today that the opening of the movie has been pushed from June until December the 23rd. Now, will we be there on December the 23rd for the first day, provided that all this crap is over with? Yes, we will. Will we be on 2 wheels? No, we won't. This is Ohio. December the 23rd, there could be 14 inches of snow on the ground. And whether there's snow on the ground or not, I can tell you, it's going to be damn cold. So no, we are not riding our bikes to the premiere, or to the opening night, whatever. But just another thing that's gotten pushed back with this. And I know that, look, I'm half joking. I know it's not as important as the other stuff, the people out of work or on furlough, you know. I do look, and the people that are getting sick and people that are dying, I understand. I'm not in any way trying to make light of it. I'm pointing out some of the things that, you know, in normal years, you know, you might be looking forward to and expecting to be able to do, not giving it a second thought about going to a crowded movie theater and watching a movie. And it was supposed to come out in June, even if the coronavirus is gone completely from Northeast Ohio and all of the world. I'll be perfectly honest with you, I still don't know how comfortable I would be sitting in a movie theater full of people watching the movie after everything that we're all going through right now. But it's just to point out that how much our lives have changed. Now, it's not the same thing by any stretch of the imagination as 9/11. But I'll be perfectly honest with you. In a lot of ways, I think that 9/11 is a good comparison to what we've got going on. You know, in the fact that after 9/11, the way we did things in the world and in our day-to-day lives dramatically changed. And even though things, I would imagine, are going to get somewhat back to normal, they're never going to be the way that they were before. I mean, let's be honest. It's not. What was is what was. And I don't know that it'll ever be that same way again. Will things always be the way that they are right now, and the whole 6-foot thing and all of that? God, I hope not. I mean, because let's be perfectly honest, if things stay the way they are, sports are over in our world. Group rides on motorcycles are over. Motorcycle clubs are over. Car clubs are over. Cruise nights for cars, bike nights for bikes. That's all over with if things stay the same way that they are. So God, let's hope they don't. But things will change. I mean, be honest with yourself. 3 months from now, if somebody coughs near you, are you going to still look at them funny? Probably. You're still going to be wondering, still going to be worried. And to be honest, it's only normal, you know, for that to be the case. You know, an awful lot of people that didn't work from home for their job, that now are working from home for their job, that same job, Mrs. motomattman being one of them, I would have to imagine that an awful lot of them are probably going to end up staying working from home. Because if you can do your job from home as well as you do it driving into an office, why do you need to drive into an office? That just wastes fuel, wear and tear on a car, motorcycle, whatever. You know, so things like that may change. You know, hopefully the way we treat one another in a great way will change. Kind of like after 9/11. After 9/11, and for those of you that aren't from the States, for the first month or so after 9/11, everybody in America was super nice to everyone that they came across. I mean, some of the beeping the horn at people because they didn't jackrabbit away from a stoplight as soon as it turned green, that kind of stuff, and that people weren't as apt to cut one another off. They held the doors for each other. They said, "Excuse me, sorry," when they bumped into you. I mean, things that we should be doing anyway. But people seem to go out of their way to be nice. And like I said, that lasted for a month or so. And I see some of the same things with this. Hopefully it stays with being nice to one another. You know, looking at things a little bit differently. Taking a good look at what you need and what you want differently. I think a lot of times we confuse the word need and want with one another. You know, there are a lot of things. I'll be honest. Best example I can give you was Mrs. motomattman and I were watching a couple of episodes of House Hunters on TV yesterday, and the people were talking about, they were looking at a house on the beach. Well, it wasn't actually on the beach, it had an ocean view, and they were looking for something like that. They were moving from Nashville, Tennessee to Destin, Florida, and they wanted water views, which I agree with. But they walked into a house that had fantastic views, and one of the things that they said was, well, we're going to need to replace the appliances. We need to replace the countertop. The appliances were perfectly fine. They worked. They were black. They weren't stainless steel. The countertop was in good condition. It wasn't broken or cracked or chipped, but it was a laminate countertop. It wasn't, you know, granite or quartz. Well, did those people need new appliances? Did they need a new countertop? No. They wanted new appliances. They wanted the stainless steel appliances. They wanted a granite or a quartz countertop. They didn't need it. The house would function perfectly fine without that. But they used the word need instead of want. And that's what I mean by the difference between need and want. You know, personally, I mean, they looked at a few other houses that didn't have the water views, but had the updated kitchens and bathrooms and stuff like that, and they chose the house that they had to drive to get to the beach, as opposed to the one with water views that you could walk to. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'd have bought the one that had the water views that I could walk to the beach over the updated appliances and the granite. But I mean, that's me, not them. You know, and I'm not saying that I need water views or I need to be able to walk or bicycle ride to the beach. I don't. You know, only one house that I lived in when I was growing up were we able to see the water from the house, and that was in Portsmouth, Rhode Island. We had a view of the riverside of the island from our back deck. But anyway, you know, living in Virginia Beach, I absolutely loved it there and would love to one day live in Virginia Beach again. I mean, I had a 20-minute ride on the bike, and that was 20 minutes on the bike hauling butt to get to the strip from my house. But in 20 minutes I could be at the strip. In 20 minutes from my house, I can be in Madison, Ohio, or in Chardon, Ohio. Neither of which have a beach. And both of them get a whole lot more snow than Virginia Beach does. Trust me on that one. Inch and a half of snow in Virginia Beach and the shit's closed. We shutting down, Bubba. But anyway, just a bunch of rambling about what's going on. I hope everybody is again, like I keep saying, that everybody is listening to what the healthcare experts are telling you, and as Mrs. Motomattman says, stay home. Now I understand, I'm not at home, but I'm riding down the road on Old Red, and I'm not going anywhere except back home. I mean, I didn't even bring a ball cap with me. And anybody that knows me in life outside of YouTube and Instagram and all of that stuff knows that you ain't gonna see me anywhere without a hat. I put a hat on my head as soon as I get off the bike. Sometimes the engine's still running and I'm pulling the helmet off and putting the ball cap on. If I get dressed up to go to a wedding or a funeral, I got hats for that too. But anyway, you know, let's all take this seriously. I've seen people on Instagram and Facebook and all kinds of different places questioning whether this is real or not, or if it's somebody just trying to scare us all. You know, is there some giant conspiracy? You know, I've heard people talking about pharmaceutical companies have caused this, and the government is trying to scare us into spending more money on pharmaceutical companies. Okay, cool. That's what you think? What am I going to spend my money on when they say they ain't got a cure? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Saw somebody saying that the Chinese government created this, weaponized some kind of disease, some kind of virus to thin out the population of China. Yeah, okay. Really? Really? Come on, people. Like my grandfather used to say, use your head for something other than a damn hat rack. This isn't anybody's fault. It is what it is. We all just got to deal with it. But let's all try to stay safe here as we deal with it. You know, listen to what the experts are telling us. I ain't an expert. I'm not a doctor. I don't have any kind of medical degree. Hell, I ain't a nurse. I'm not a EMT or a paramedic or a medic in the military. I'm nothing. I'm a dude on a bike on YouTube. But what I am is a husband and a father and a son and a brother. And I want to see my sister and my brother and my wife and my parents and my children. I want to see them every day. I want to grow old. I want them to get to do everything that they dream of doing and have all their dreams come true. And I want to be there to see it happen. And I want the same for all of y'all out there too. So let's all just listen to what we're being told and suck it up and deal with it the best that we can, so that we're having motorcycle rallies and stuff in the years to come. But anyway, that's my little PSA for the day. Now my big deal is it's 60 degrees, almost 60 degrees outside, and I'm out on a motorcycle in April in Ohio. And I got old Red out. I cleaned her up the best I could. Well, quickie clean up. And I'm out riding. The wind is nice today. It's not super windy, not having 20-mile-an-hour winds going across the side and blowing me all over the daggone place. So it feels nice. The tank grips that I put on last year were, you know, those of you that saw some of my videos from last year saw that I had a problem getting the daggone tank grips to stay on. First of all, they don't make tank grips specifically for this bike, so I had to buy ones for CBR and put those on. And the sticky stuff on the back of them didn't stick to anything, didn't stay stuck to the tank or to the grips. But I used the tape that you would use to attach, the foam tape you would use to attach plastic accessories to the outside of a car. I put some of that on there and they're staying on pretty daggone good. So there's a little update on that. Had to put air in the back tire to go out for a ride. Put air in the back tire earlier this week and it leaked out. And it's been leaking out ever since I got the new tire put on. I need to take it in and have them, or at least check it myself. I imagine that my issue is either a bead leak or valve stem, and it doesn't look like they replaced the valve stem. And if that's the case, I'm gonna get them to replace the valve stem and put a metal valve in. I don't know why it's got a stupid rubber valve in the thing anyway. I hate them damn things on a bike. Got a metal valve in my Maxim 700, and that metal valve stem has been in that wheel since 1990 and it don't leak. But anyway, everybody, I'm almost back to the house, so I hope everybody liked what they saw, enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm out here riding partially for those of you that aren't able to. But anyway, if you like what you see, make sure you click that like and subscribe button and punch that bell so you get notifications whenever I upload any new content. And everybody have a great day.